Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nutmeg Curling Club. My name is Britt, and I am here with you for the 7:45 draw. I apologize, we had some brief streaming issues, but we are back online. Let me set up the match for you. We're going to be joined by one of our curling club members, Jeff Hannon, who's been with us for, I don't know, 1,000 years, feels like. He's been here as long as I've been here, and I haven't been here that long. So let me set up the match for you. So we got two sheets going in the 7:45. Sheet B is going to feature, stay with me, folks. All right, Jeff is joining us right now. I can hear you, Jeff. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you.
Okay, but I can hear you, so you're live, so you can hear me because I'm loud. Okay, so sheet B is going to feature, oh, here it is, Bertonica versus Hull. And, oh, I'm sorry, that's sheet C. Sheet B is Robert Kwan versus Schneider. So Matt Schneider representing Ardsley, and Matt Bertonica in a combination team representing Bedford, Nutmeg, and Ardsley. And what am I missing here? Schneider. Oh, I said that Ardsley. Oh, Hull, I'm sorry. Hull is Broomstone's Belfast and Colgate team. I had a nice chatting with them this afternoon. We're talking about some fantasy football from the Colgate guys. So glad to have them on board. Right now, you are looking at a view of the near houses, but we're going to switch you over to the far houses so you can see what's going on. And we're just underway, so basically all we have out here is guard stones. So while we're in a position where there's not a ton happening on the ice, I want to pick Jeff's brain. So Jeff, they instituted the 5-rock 3-guard zone. Can you tell me, how does that really change the game in terms of adding that extra rock to the 3-guard zone?
It changes the game later on. If you're behind with the hammer, you can now get your 2 corner guards up, and they can't remove the second one. Whereas in the 4-rock roll, you would get your 2 corner guards up, and then they were able to peel on the 5th rock. So now you can have, they can't peel on the 5th rock. The interesting thing that's happening in mixed doubles more than anywhere else right now is when they do the power play and they put a corner guard up in mixed doubles, they'll throw the tick on the corner guard and try to push it to the middle, so it ends up as a center line guard.
Wow.
So, I mean, I haven't seen that. The 5-rock rule has been used in the Grand Slams up in Canada for a couple of years now, and I haven't seen it up there, but that's the biggest difference.
Very interesting.
If you don't have the hammer, I mean, you're still able to get your 2 center lines up, and putting 3 up is not the best option a lot of times.
Right. Oh, we have some applause for the baseball playoffs in progress over here. It's a very lively war room tonight, which is great. So, Jeff, also, while we're very early in the end, right now I'm looking at the sheet, and we've got 1 stone in for yellow on C, nothing in the house yet for B. Could you talk a little bit about, I know upcoming, the USCA has a big event going on in Albany, and I know you're involved with that organizational planning part. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
This is the annual members assembly, which is something that was implemented 4 years ago, and it's a gathering that's for all. Whoa, we had a little fall out here on sheet B. That was the whoa. So all the members are invited to, and anybody who's a member of any curling club can attend. There's a short meeting, usually lasts maybe 2 hours, where the USCA staff and CEO describe what's going on with the USCA. The chairman of the board, who is now Courtney Schmidt, will give a presentation about what's going on with the board of directors, which I'm part of. And then there are seminars ranging on everything from retaining members, going from arena ice to dedicated ice. I believe Canada Curling Stone is coming down. I'm not sure exactly who, to talk about rocks and how they impact play. And it's all free. Everything is free. And then Saturday night, there's a
All you have to do is get yourself there.
All you have to do is get to Albany. And pay for a hotel. A hotel, obviously not.
If you want to stay overnight, but if you want to come for one day of the conference, you can do so and attend free.
Yes, yes. And Saturday night there's a mini spiel. It's a 4N game, and they just put teams together. So people from all different clubs. There's usually some of the board members and some of the USCA staff play as well. And they call it the shortest spiel for the biggest trophy. The trophy's about I think it's up to about 6 feet high now. It's curling brooms and stuff piled on top of it, and so that's on Saturday night at Schenectady, and there's also dinner provided for free. So I mean, it's a great deal.
So if you're a curler in the Schenectady-Albany area, or have the ability to get to the Schenectady-Albany area for next weekend, the 13th and 14th, you should absolutely look at doing this.
Yes. Yes.
All right, cool. All right, well, let's get to the action on here. Over on sheet B, we have a lot of guards out front. And
how do I get volume? Because I can't. Because this is bad here, and I can't hear you.
Okay. Hold on 1 second, folks. We're having technical difficulties. All right. Let's see if Jeff can hear me now.
No, let's try it.
I can hear you, so I know we could switch headphones if you want. That way you can hear me.
Say something again.
Trying again.
No, I still can't hear you.
Use this set because you can hear and I can hear you talking normally. All right, folks. Thanks for your patience there. We are trying to make sure that everything is working as intended. You should be able to hear me now, right?
Yes.
You can hear me through the headphones. Yeah. Okay, great. Sorry, so anyway, back to the action. So we're a couple rocks into the end at this point. Over on sheet B, we're looking at 2 red stones in the house. Here's a quick view of that. They've got one completely under those yellow cover and one that's kind of sitting out biting the 8-foot. Meanwhile, over on far C, we've got a little bit more of a busier house. We have yellow counting 2 and a lot of rocks out front. So kind of a developing situation there. So we'll go back to the 3-sheet view so you can see everything going in progress. This team on sheet C, I'm looking them up. Give me a second, bear with me because I'm still not up to who is playing where. The Hull team, Alex Hull and his compatriots, a lot of these guys curled together in college. I was actually talking to them in between draws. 3 of these members are guys who played together at Colgate 4 or 5 years ago who use this as an excuse to get back together. That's fantastic. It's nice to hear that, even college curling guys are using this as an opportunity to really kind of reunite.
Turn the volume down. Now I can't hear you. Come on, get on first. I mean, it's all the way up.
Yeah, that's as hard as it's going to go.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so over here on sheet C right now, another stone comes in, and we have a mess out in front of the house. I see 5 red stones and 2 yellow, all out in front of the house. We've got the 2 yellow in. Over on sheet B, let's cut to them really quick and give you an overhead view. It's pretty straightforward. We got 1 red in the house, and we are up to the first of skip rocks. So we have a kind of a tale of different houses right now, whereas B has nothing out front and C has a ton. Switching back to the 3-sheet view because we have a stone coming in on C. It looks like it's going to curl through that hole. Look at this. Can they get it there?
Not quite.
No, and now that's going to close that gap. It's a very narrow gap.
Pretty well blocked up out front, so I don't know what Red's going to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that kind of puts them in a bad spot.
Matt's going to go way out wide here. PCI said he hasn't thrown on yet, so it's going to be a little slower than the middle at this point, because all the rocks have gone down the middle, so that part of the ice is warmed up, as we say. So
yeah.
Matt's going to get the right weight here to try to get a piece of the forefoot, possible, but definitely not an easy shot.
So we'll cut back to, we're showing all 3 sheets right now. Still 1 stone in on sheet B. Sheet C is basically a minefield as we get to Matt Bertonica's first rock over here on C.
I think over on sheet B, Matt Schneider's going to throw a run back on that yellow one that's just in front of the house, back onto the red.
Let's go ahead and switch to that.
About a 3-foot run back.
Ooh, and he's got the red stone right behind it. So is this a hit and roll kind of situation, or is he just trying to promote?
No, he's gonna. I think he's throwing the run back. He's not taking very much ice, so take out weight. Try to run the yellow one back onto the red.
Oh, he's coming out of the hack. Let's see what he does here.
Pretty close. Might over curl a drop. No. I don't know if he got enough of it.
The yellow is going to roll out. The red is going to roll into the 8-foot right up against the 12 line. And it is still 1 red, but that red is awfully exposed out there. And we are down to the final rocks on sheet B. Showing you really quick what's going on far C. This is as messy a front of the house as I can recall.
We got, what, nine guards out there?
2, 4, 6 reds and 3 yellows. Yes. There are 9 rocks in the guard zone to try and navigate. This actually reminds me of a game that I played against Jeff probably 10, 11 years ago in a tournament in the Golden Handle, in which they clogged up the front of the house and we tried to force our way in and created a terrible mess. We dug ourselves a nasty hole and gave up a lot of points because we forced our way in. And it looks like he's going to try and squeeze himself in between that gap between the 2 reds. So let's see. The shot is away.
On the red one.
He looks like he's on the red one. It's got to curl. The sweepers want to sweep, but they've got to let this curl, and it's just not going to have the gas. And now, whatever gap was there is now apparently closed. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, you'll have a stone coming into play right now. The last red stone from Robert Kwan. The sweepers are going furiously. They are trying to get this guy in and buried. They'll get him in, but they are not going to be able to bury him. He looks pretty exposed right now, Jeff. So yellow coming up with its hammer. What do you do here?
Well, you could try to throw the draw, if you know you have draw weight, but you have backing at this point. You might as well just come down to the red one in the back. Heavy draw.
I mean, that is shot rock, so all you need to do is sit on it.
As long as you get to nose or a little inside, you're going to get 1. The last thing you want to do is you try to throw the draw and you come up short, and give them 2.
Right. So even
broom for a heavy draw.
Right, heavy draw, even a hit and stick kind of situation is going to help you right here. So we're going to stick here for a second because there's conversations going on over on sheet C. We'll stick here and see what happens.
Weight looks good. Sweepers are on and off. I think he's seems to come back a little bit.
Oh, this looks like it might be good.
And I think it's going to be one yellow. Yep.
Just like Jeff described it, it's going to sit there, and that's going to be one yellow over on sheet B. So let's go back to sheet C. Matt Bertonica is throwing his final rock, but this is not the hammer. Yellow has the hammer here. So he's going to try, it looks like he's trying to draw in, I guess.
I don't know what he's trying here.
There's just so many rocks out front, it's hard to predict.
Let me know when you're ready, and I'm going to get one.
He might be trying to promote.
I don't think this is going to do much.
Here comes the rock. It's just not going to have enough gas to move stones around. So now if I'm yellow, I am putting this into the boards. I don't see a path to get, I mean, there's an angle promote, I guess.
No, there's a lot of danger out there. You know, you try something and you can throw the red one in.
Yeah, I mean, the danger here outweighs any chance of you getting that angle promote in for 3.
Yeah.
I think you take your 2 and go to the second end. They're going to talk about it, though. Oh, they're giving it a good long look.
There's a small port there. It looks a little bit bigger live than it does on the camera.
Absolutely. I mean,
about maybe 2 rocks wide.
And the beauty of this shot is unless you hit a red head on and curl too much, there's really not a lot of damage you can get here. It's a small port by port standards, but it does look pretty doable. But even if they miss this, there's a very slim chance they're going to do some long-term damage here.
True.
So let's see what they do. I say that, and they could very easily have a very bad hit here, so... The shot is away, and it's coming down the ice. It looks like it's got good weight.
Sweepers are interested now, but I don't know if it's past that guard. I don't think it is.
It's not. It's going to crash.
Yeah.
And
no harm, no foul.
It's going to end up being 2 yellow with, like you said, no harm, no foul. Just, we'll give it a shot, but we won't let anything bad happen. So at the end of 1, yellow leads on both sheets. On sheet B, yellow is up 1-0, and on sheet 2, they're up 2-0. So let's go to the near houses so you can see them coming towards us. You will already see sheet B is a couple rocks in. They've got a red and a yellow that are both out of play. Guard goes up, that's nice, and Matt is laughing. He likes what he sees. So we'll take this opportunity to check the live feed chat. Nobody looking for any information right now.
Beverages for broadcasting.
So we're just kind of watching right now as the second end begins on both sheets.
Yeah, it's only a card.
So we're just kind of watching and seeing how these ends develop. Over here on sheet C, the first stone travels a little long and is biting the front 12. So Matt Bertonica is going to try to come right behind it right away. A nice aggressive play by Red after they gave up 2 to start the match.
Like that. Let's see what happens. You're turning them on?
Okay, so on sheet B, we have a Yellowstone just biting the 8-12 line. Robert's going to go after that right away. Meanwhile, over here on sheet C, we are going to have draw by Colgate. Ooh, this looks a little hot. I know the ice is slow after the first end, but oh, this is slowing down nicely. This might stick around. Very exciting first day. Oh, yeah, look at that, slowing down nicely. Right on the center line. I want to thank Jeff for joining me a little bit on the broadcast tonight, because I was going to do this solo, and it's always nice to have somebody with Jeff's expertise on the broadcast, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
The question I always ask is, do we have anybody watching?
We do. Right this moment we have 4.
Okay then. Welcome, audience.
Yes, thank you for joining us. If you have anything you'd like to ask, please type it into the search window. We'll be happy to respond. So let's do a quick recap of what's going on. Over here on sheet B, we have an empty house with a couple of guards out front. And over here on sheet C, we have a couple of biters out front and a yellow in the back 12. As of right now, yellow is sitting 2.
And they're going to try to draw around that rock that's just biting the red rock, just biting the house on the center line.
I agree.
If they make it, it's a great shot. I'm not sure at this point in the game I would do that. Taking out the red one, which is the danger rock at this point, might be the better choice. And this looks a little heavy. We're sweeping it so it doesn't take out the yellow in the back.
Yes.
Because it was heavy.
No harm, no foul there, but yes, I agree. That was a risky play.
And this is why this was a danger rock, because now Matt's going to tap this up. If he hits it right, it's going to be guarded.
Right. He can promote this straight to the button and have it guarded, all with one shot. So let's zoom in there really quick.
You have nothing to worry about there. The Braves have.
So if he can, I don't think that's on task. But now he's got the other red out there. So the stone hasn't come into play yet, but it started to curl right away. Now it looks like it's curling a lot.
Yeah, and it's going to get to the yellow, I think.
It might even clear the yellow. It just rests up against the yellow. But yeah, that did not go the way they wanted it to go.
So we'll see if he changes his mind this time and takes the red one out. No, he's going to try to draw again.
He's trying to use the reds to his advantage, but that's dangerous with a team like Bertonica's, because he will push back the red. Matt Bertonica takes a moment to share a drink with Jeff.
Yes, I have acquired the appropriate broadcast beverages.
That's it. Here comes the yellow. Oh, wow. Well, this is a screaming red over here on B. I'm not sure what he's doing.
He's trying to throw the draw again. But again, it's heavy.
Over on B, that red just came flying through the house. Over here on C, the yellow is gonna, the draw is still just a touch heavy. And through.
So we'll see if Matt does a tap again. He's gonna go for that same tap.
It definitely looks like the tap.
Julie with the delivery. Scoopers are on it.
It's got decent weight, I think.
Might overcurl a little bit, but I think the weight's really good.
Here's the overhead shot. Ooh, that might just be biting. And now Colgate is going to have to think about, I keep calling them Colgate because they're wearing their Colgate shirts. Colgate's got to decide what they want to do. I mean, right now, they are second and third stone. Well, I'm sorry, they're probably first stone.
I'm not sure.
Red is second.
Not sure who's second shot. It's very close there between the red and the yellow at the top of the house.
Absolutely. So get that red out of the way. I mean, the only reason you wouldn't want to do that is because red has hammer. but I still think that given the situation, that's what you want to do. Here comes the shot. It looks narrow to me.
Yeah, he was definitely inside the broom on that one. Going to make contact on the other reds, which could be a problem.
That is absolutely a problem because red is now clearly first shot.
Yeah, red is shot, and
it might even be two.
Back, I believe, is still second. But again, it's very close for second shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it might be one red, it might be two
Once
red.
Again, Matt can tap that up. He only has to move it 3 or 4 inches to be sitting 2.
And if he hits it straight back, he's providing himself cover.
Pan Moan with the delivery down here, also known as Cheeseburger. I gave her that name a few years ago because she was so skinny I kept telling her that she needed to eat a cheeseburger. So she is Cheeseburger to me.
Oh, this might be nice if it settles in. They're sweeping like crazy.
It's going to be a draw. If it gets there, not quite.
It is a nice card, though. I mean, if you want to play in B, that's not a bad one. Just so you guys know what's going on, I'm going to cut back to the blue sheet view so you can see sheet B.
Is that a biter in the back of sheet B?
No, I think it's just a little bit of white, but it's sitting right on the line. So it's still in play, but I don't think it's counting. So there's not a lot going on sheet B at the exact moment, which is why we keep showing you sheet C, because there's a lot of action going on here. Wow, this has got some gas.
How are they taking out that rock on the center line?
They're trying to get that rock off the center line. Where does the yellow end up? The yellow is going to roll off into the 12-foot on the side. Not a bad spot. It's still one red, but it's one red where if that red were to come out of play, the next 3 stones that count would be yellow.
Let's open up the draw.
That's it. And Matt's going to just try and bury something because there's a lot of stones on the front on that side.
Over on sheet B, Robert's going to take out that red at the back. Or, actually, I think he's drawing. Oh, he is red.
He is
What
red.
he's doing here. It's definitely draw weight. We're looking at sheet C, so you can't see that. But
Switching over to B, here's Robert's draw. Right into the 4-foot. And that was his first rock. So he's basically challenging yellow to do something about him. Meanwhile, we're back over here on sheet C.
it looks like Colgate's going for the draw. And that red center line guard. Even if he goes all the way to the back yellow, he'll be shot. So, want to make sure you get it there.
We're going to go to the near house view so you can see both shots happening right now. Because the stones have been delivered on B and they're sliding out on C. B stones coming in hot.
Oh, yeah. Get a little tick off the outside one. This could work out really well.
Got him into the back 12. Meanwhile on C, look at the hit and roll. He is really well under cover over here on C. So here's what we're looking at on C. It's definitely one yellow. And now Bertonica has to decide how he is going to get in there.
He's thinking about running the red one back onto the yellow.
It's a little bit of a
Stan says, I think we should draw. Matt says, I want to do the run back.
The run back's a little tight because of that red right behind
the
it.
red that's in the 12-foot.
Yeah.
You can hit a little bit on the right-hand side and still catch the yellow one.
It's
Which would be toward the top of the screen as you're looking at it on your
It's absolutely doable, but it's not an easy shot.
device.
Cutting back to near B here. Shot coming in. Oh, glances the yellow. It's going to jam on that red. And it is still one yellow. Is that the end of it? Was that hammer?
2 yellow. There's a biter out there on sheet B.
Oh, so there's a battle of the biters. It's at least 1, possibly 2 yellow over here on B. And whatever it is, the Vices are confident. So yellow scores again on B. The question is it 2-0 or 3-0? And we'll come back to that. Meanwhile, over here on sheet C,
coming in nicely. This has a chance. This has a definite chance. Oh, not enough weight.
oh, I apologize. That is far C. This is what you want to see right here. Still
Now that
one yellow.
is firmly. Cheeseburger is waving to me through the.
And Pam's having a quick moment, and she just mouthed the word cheeseburger at Jeff.
Colgate. I would use names, but I don't have my glasses on, and I know there's words on the team roster here, but I can't read the words.
Right, so that's a team of, it's a 5-man team, and I'm not familiar enough with the curlers to know who's out there, but it's Alex, Rich, Matt, Rachel, and Jenna.
They're thinking about drawing
All
to
of
the
which went to
outside.
college together. All of which went to college together, and some are curling in different clubs now.
So it looked like he decided he was going to draw to the outside. Maybe the better choice would have been draw toward the middle. Because you're going to leave the draw for Matt open to the 4-foot.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Is this their hammer? Oh, Red has one more.
Yes, Matt has the hammer. Red on sheet C has the hammer.
So I personally would prefer to draw towards the center.
Yeah, you want to draw. Try to cover up the 4-foot. Take away the draw to the 4-foot for Red.
Right.
And he's going the other way.
They're sweeping it pretty hard.
I think it's a little late.
I think they're looking at this point at a possible promoting to the 8-foot, maybe make it second stone or to kick off of it, and it's not going to have the gas. So now Red and Bertonica just needs to outscore that yellow to take one here. There's no real way to get that yellow out of. Ooh. I was just going to say there's no real way to get that yellow out of the 4-foot, but Matt Bertonica just pointed at an angle that would suggest that there is. It's sharp and crazy looking to my perspective, but it's there. All right, so Jeff, you're in this situation. You're Matt Bertonica. What are you throwing? He actually pointed at that front yellow.
He thought about the double of the yellow that's in the 12-foot onto the rock in the 4-foot. You know, that's not the easiest shot. And then he looked at an outside double promote on the reds. I don't think that's there.
I
So I
agree.
believe he's decided that drawing the 4-foot is the best option.
So take your one and move on.
I want to, but I know it would be stupid.
Well, the thing too with this shot is you're not going to give up more than one. Bad things can happen when you start moving rocks around with weight.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll stay here and see what his shot ends up with.
He needs full 4-foot to score. Sweepers are on it pretty quickly. I think they need to look up a little bit, because I'm not sure. I think the weight's pretty good. I think they need to. Look up. I think they need to look up. Well, maybe not. Nice shot, Matt Bertonica.
Look at that, right to the button, one red.
And the broadcasters are doing the wave in the warm-up.
Yep. So that cuts the lead on sheet C to 2-1 in favor of yellow. Have we had a score posted over here on B yet? I don't see it. So we'll update you as soon as we can. In the meantime, here's what the far side of the ice looks like. Let me show you far B really quick. This is what you missed while we were talking about the Bertonica match over here on C. I see a lot of yellow.
Yeah, and one right on the button there, and Max is trying to throw a guard, but it looks a little heavy. So that's not a great result. Pushes it more behind the guard. Rolls over in front of the red one in the back of the house. So sitting 2. But that yellow is just behind the tee line, so it is able to be outscored. It is a very good draw. That's what Robert is calling.
Absolutely looks like, and Robert's playing with a younger team, some newer curlers, which is fantastic. But it's not shocking if they have a little. This is a great learning experience for them. So. Oh, let's see where this goes. It's got a chance.
This is an audible here.
Sweep it out, and that cuts it to 1 yellow. Reynolds said sit second and third.
So Mac's going to throw the takeout, which is not a bad choice either.
Absolutely not. It sets him up well.
He's going to take out that the red one in the back, sit 2. Try to limit yellow to red to 1 point at the most. Sweeping it hard.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's a decent roll into the 4-foot. Not the best spot. Got a little pocket there for red to draw into on sheet B.
So I cut us back to sheet B there because that was an interesting development. And now yellow sits 2 in the 4. And Robert's going to go after that stone just now. And Robert's line is interesting call because it's kind of anticipating if it runs straight, he's got that stone. If not, he's got shot rock, the one that's just biting the button. So this is kind of a safe call here. It's set up in a way where he can make the call. Here comes a rock, and it is heavy.
Yeah, and I think it didn't quite get it to the broom, and it's going to be wide. And
oh, it's going to flare right through.
Take himself out.
And unfortunately leave 2 yellow.
So Matt's going to run up as fast as he can and ask for a guard. Exactly what he did. Back over here on sheet C, we have 2 yellow.
Our grill masters just took meat out and the bell was rung, as is traditional here during the Blazing Leaves. One of the big things about the Blazing Leaves is the barbecue that happens on Saturday night, and they have just taken the meat out to be smoked. So let's give you the wide view right now. See both houses, because we got action on both. Over on sheet B, wow. Let's go to far B for a second. You have 3 yellow stones.
That was supposed to be a guard. It was heavy, obviously, and it didn't curl in to guard those 2 rocks, and it's in a really bad spot right now. There's actually a possible triple takeout there.
Yeah, if you hit this just right, you can clear the house and stick around. So here we go. Let's see. This shot's coming down. It has takeout plus.
The line looks better on this one.
Let's see how this one resolves. Here it comes.
Yeah, he's going to make contact, and
it gets 1, but the end result is still 2 yellow.
Yeah. And again, Matt has a chance to guard that situation to keep himself.
Meanwhile, over on sheet C, red is counting 1, and it looks like Matt Bertonica is trying to guard what he has inside of the 8-foot. A nice counter that's also guarding what is considered right now his shot rock.
And over on sheet B, they have posted the score. It was 2 yellow in the second end, so Matt Schneider up 3-0 and sitting 2 at this point.
Oh, curl little.
Nice guard on sheet C.
Nicely done. Nice job. That was a Julie Pasnow shot. Nice shot, Julie.
Not a big fan of guarding rocks in the back of the house. I would like to see that getting into the 8-foot, front 8-foot, so that you're sitting 2 and doesn't really leave much. Over on sheet B, we got that guard attempt again, and it's just not going to curl in there. It was a bit heavy.
It's going to stick around, but with that much action in the 4-foot, it's not going to do much.
It's a T-line guard, which is never good. They take out through the hole here on that back red one, and I think they got it, and they do. Wow.
Wow, I changed views at the right time. That just snuck by the red guard.
Not a lot of room there between those 2 reds in front of the house, and it got through there.
Now Bertonica is looking at 3 yellow rocks.
This one looks a little warm. Actually not bad.
Well, let's see where this ends up.
No, it's a little late, actually. Oopsie.
Ooh, guarding.
So, sheet B, Robert still has a shot here. Looks like he's going to run the red one back onto the yellows, based on where the broom is positioned.
This is his first skip rock. But wow, that's a lot of rocks in the 4-foot. Well, 3, but I mean,
yeah,
that's a crowded 4-foot.
It's only 3.
Only 3.
We'll get up to 6 or 7, then, that's a lot.
That's a crowded 4-foot. Well, he may get us there. Let's see what he does here.
Robert's rock is on its way. Downweight takeout. Try to get, I think, inside of the red one. And onto the yellow. There's a hole there.
I think he's by the guards. Look at this.
Very nice made.
That's going to be difficult to get out because it's frozen right up against that yellow. The warm room reacts to the shot. Let's get the Skinny Larry seal of approval. Larry.
My house was basically in the middle of the South River.
You like? Yeah. It gets the Skinny Larry seal of approval. Just for the record tonight, Skinny Larry was discouraged earlier. He was not discouraged on the ice, but the mark of a true champion, he went out there and he performed. So he's applauding that.
It looks like Matt's going to try a double takeout here on B.
Oh, B?
Swap back to B real quick.
Okay. Apologize for that quick
So
cut.
he's just trying to draw inside the red one to limit Robert to 1, which is not a bad shot either.
It's just a tight window because he's already on the button. Oh, wow.
I'm not sure who shot there.
I'm not either. If I had to guess, I would say red, but I'm not 100% sure.
But for sure, Robert's going to have a really hard time getting 2.
Oh, agreed. The angle he would have to chip out that yellow at, even if it is not first shot, is very tight. Almost non-existent.
If he hits it, if he hits right in between the yellow and the red at the top of the forefoot, the red's going to go back. The red that's in the button area is going to go back on the yellow one at the back forefoot, and he might get 2.
It's really
The
tight,
red that's
though.
the red that's on the outside of the forefoot is going to go away. It's possible. Over here on sheet C, we still have 3 yellows counting at this point, and yellow does have the hammer this end, so.
And a lot of red out in front.
This does not look useful.
Robert is down here for, is this hammer or this looks like hammer?
Well, again, if Robert goes in between the red and the yellow, possibly could get 2.
I mean, there's a miracle hit for 3, but I wouldn't call it.
Well, he's down 3 at this point, so we'd like to get 2, try to get this game back in control.
Plenty of weight coming into view right now.
Not going to get there. No, that could possibly be a measure.
Oh, they're confident.
Although they did kick the rocks away, so somebody was sure.
So we'll wait for the score to be posted there.
Who's throwing first here? Right,
Red
so
is throwing first.
So red did get 1 there, so it's 3-1 now. Yellow over red on sheet B. Robert Kwan playing the red rocks. Matt Schneider skipping on the yellow rocks.
So we'll cut back to sheet C, where Matt Bertonica throws his first skip rock, and it's short, which leads me to believe he was trying to sneak through that narrow port and get into the house, because right now, count looks like 3 yellow.
And again, yellow has the hammer on sheet C, so.
And yellow has a hammer sitting 3.
This could be a big end.
They're coming back to start the 4th end in B, but we'll stick here with C for a minute because they're getting near the end of the end. The end of the end.
I think they're going to throw the draw, yeah. Motioning for the draw. on sheet C here.
There is a lot of room out there, and there is stuff you can hit and roll on. I don't know. The hit and roll is pretty set back. I don't know if that's even there.
Yeah, the hit and roll for Matt would be on the yellow that's at the top of the screen in the 12-foot. Hit off that. It's in front of the tee line, so you can roll toward the button, toward the 4-foot.
So the Broomstones Belfast Colgate team might be just trying to take away any draw on that left-hand side or draw in themselves. I mean, they're already sitting 3 right now. If they can get behind guards, and there's a ton of guards out there, they might be challenging Matt to try and prevent them from taking 4.
Wide open in the full 12-foot, that's not a problem.
They just have to outcount that front red.
It will.
Ooh, does that leave a hit and roll option for Matt on that side?
It does, but it's really out there.
So which side do you like if you're going for the hit and roll?
I personally would throw the one at the top of the screen there. It's more in front of the tee line, so the angle's better to get in toward the 4-foot area. Even if you just take it out, now they're only sitting 2 or 3. If you get a little bit of roll, you could be sitting second shot.
Right.
Plus, you have a lot more of the house to roll. You know, you basically have 8 feet of roll.
It looks like Matt's going to shoot for the other side. But this really is a call of convenience. Where do you feel better throwing? I agree with Jeff. Because the other stone is higher in the 12-foot on the what's the top side of your screen, right side from our perspective, I would probably go that way too. But Matt clearly feels more comfortable going to this side. And that's a lot of weight.
A lot of weight, and I don't know if he got it to the broom. I think it's a little outside of the broom on that one, and it's just going to stay out there.
He might get 2 yellows out, though, in the process, and he does. Oh!
But he ends up sitting third shot. It's close again.
And yellow now has the hammer here.
Looking up at the monitors here in the warm room, I do believe yellow is second shot.
So yellow now has a draw. If they can get anywhere in the 8-foot, they take 3.
We don't yet have a zoom feature on our cameras to
unfortunately
zoom in or a.
I'm not that fancy yet.
One year in the, I don't know if it was the Briar or what, but CBC or TSN, whoever the broadcasting at the time, had a digital, like the yellow line they put on football.
Right.
They did it with the circles
to show who was closest.
So who was closer.
Yeah, I don't think we have that capability.
It didn't work out too well. They only did it for like one event and then decided it wasn't worth it.
So here comes the yellow hammer.
We got that one out there a little bit too far. We got to sweep it past. Oh.
So it's probably going to be 2 yellow.
I believe it might be 2 yellow.
We're going to cut to near B while they clean up on C and tell us what the score is, because while we were focused on C, B had a lot of action, and here comes a stone in right now. Hit, and it's going to roll just a little bit out. So we haven't had a score posted on C just yet to confirm. Meanwhile, what you're looking at is the near house on sheet B. The current score is 3-1 in favor of yellow. What's that?
We're going to measure on sheet C.
There's a measure on sheet C, so we will update you. Meanwhile, we are looking at sheet B. Here comes a... Ooh, this is going to bump it in. Is it going to get it out? It's going to get it out. So we are going to stick with B for a moment. Robert Kwan is calling for the takeout here. Meanwhile, the measure is in progress on C. I think this is for third rock on C.
This is for second point on
Second
sheet C.
rock. I have it up on my side screen, so I will update you folks.
Successful takeout on.
I hate when they do that. They finished the measure and they kicked both rocks in. I have no idea where it scored. I gotta wait for you guys to update the board for me. I'm a yellow must. Well, we knew yellow scored. How many did yellow score?
Sometimes it'll be like, oh wow, yours is a lot slower. Okay, well I was going to work on this, but I can't. So
Oh, that shot on sheet B will go right through the wickets. So just updating this.
You want to knock the wickets over in cricket.
Yes. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, which you're currently watching, the score is 3-1 in favor of yellow. Robert Kwan, whose team I believe is throwing red, yes?
Yes.
Yes. He trails by 2, but he does not have the hammer. Sheet C underway. I don't see a score up yet for the third end, but we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Jimmy Monroe. So Britt's gonna again keep the broadcasters hydrated, heading to the beverage area. I appreciate that. So on sheet B there we had a draw or a tap. Actually my favorite shot in the whole world to call, which is the tap split draw. You throw good, nice T-line weight. If you tap it, that's great. If you draw around it, that's great. If you split, moving the red one that's in the house and rolling your shooter in, that's a split. They all work. It's the triple option play in curling. And it looks like the takeout's going to be successful here on sheet B. And the shooter's not going to stick around. Clean house on B. Over on sheet C. We have... I don't have my glasses on, fans out there, so can't really see which screen to drop to. So we're going to stay on sheet B because I can't pick it up. Well, I know we can do this, and then we can do that. We have the technology. So sheet C, there's a long guard out there. Red rock in the back 12 foot, yellow rock in the back 12 foot. Red is shot at this point. Matt was trying to go around the guard, comes up a little short. And it looks like they're going to throw a takeout. One more over in sheet B. Here's those two guards. I like the merge features and the flip features. Two guards there. Robert's going to try to draw around, get something in play, make Matt chase a little bit. Nice draw. Nicely behind the guard, right to the tee line, so that's a pretty good spot. Draw here on sheet C. Goes into the top 8 foot. That's now shot rock. Matt, who is the red rocks, is going to take that out. He is going to make it successfully. He'll be sitting 2 with the hammer. Back over on sheet B. Looks like Matt's going to try to draw down Matt Schneider. We have 2 Matts here skipping. Matt Schneider's going to try to draw down and sit inside that red rock that's on the tee line just outside the 4 foot. Nice takeout here on sheet C. Oh, I think I figured it out without my glasses. There we go. So red currently sitting 2 with the hammer. So takeout on being asked for on that one. Back sheet. Oopsie. Oh, I don't know what I did. So Matt Schneider makes a really nice draw there on sheet B. And Yellow Rock is available for Robert to hit. It looks like that might be what he's doing with his last rock. We did miss the takeout here on sheet C.
I knew pretty much after it was over last year. I'm doing this again.
Yeah, I was gonna, and then I had not been running, and I was like,
Sheet C, red is still sitting shot. Go back to
Well, and then the funny thing is that I had a friend who
sheet B here. It'll final skip rock for Robert Kwan on sheet B. Yellow sitting shot in the 4 foot, and Robert's going to try to remove that with his red rock. Doesn't really want to sit there. He wants to roll away if he can a little bit. Somewhere. All right, Britt is back with beverages. I'm going to let you go back to manning the cameras because I can't see without my glasses.
I can't see so good.
And Robert does make the hit and roll. Very nicely made. So Matt's going to have the same shot again on sheet B with his last rock to score 1. He needs to draw the 4 foot, which is what he did on his first rock. So we'll stay here on sheet B until this final rock is thrown. Then we can run over to sheet C. Right now on sheet C, just to give you an update, red is still shot. The rock that was at the top of the house got moved to the back, and it's still in the 12 foot and shot. So red seems to be in control this end. Back over on sheet B.
We're fine. I'm just trying to figure out why this one doesn't get the very fine. I figure while you're covering it, I can figure it out.
Yellow Rock on its way. Sweeper's working it hard. They got to get it to the 4 foot. They got to get it to the full 8 foot to be second shot. They got to get it to the 4 foot, and they do.
That is shot rock, I believe.
I believe that is 1 yellow. Take a quick look, and it's agreed upon. So sheet B update score is 4-1. Matt Schneider over Robert Kwan after the 4th end.
Ironically enough, that's where we are on sheet C. It's 4-1. We'll bring you over there.
And then turn around and drive 3 hours back. Oh, he definitely got to get
Rock coming into play right now, off of the guard.
So Matt Bertonica is sitting 2. Red is sitting 2. They're down 3 at this point with the hammer. So they get a chance to get right back in this game here. Pam Cheeseburger Moan can make a nice draw. This line looks good.
Line looks really good.
Swoopers are on it really hard. They think it's light.
I think it might be.
And they are correct.
Well, no harm, no foul, in that it's hogged. So, and Colgate's looking at the other side of the rings.
Try to decide which one.
So we are down to skip rocks here on sheet C.
It looks like we're going to draw. We got that pile of granite in the back of the house with red sitting 2, yellow sitting 3rd and 4th shot right now. But rocks behind the tee line are always your friend if you don't have the hammer. Draw down in front of those someplace and it's going to be shot rock and impossible to remove.
Pam coming down the ice is clearly a little bit disappointed with his shot, but what are you going to do? Here comes the yellow rock. It looks hot.
It does look warm. It's coming in though.
It's
as long as it
curling.
gets to the red, inside of the red, it's pretty good.
Nicely.
I think the weight's decent.
Wow, look at this.
Nice shot.
That's a gorgeous shot here on sheet C.
Yeah, you would need some dynamite, I think, to remove that. So that is currently shot rock and is never going away.
Yeah, so what choice does Bertonica have?
He only has, his only choice is to make the same kind of draw. It'd be really good if he ended up in front of the tee line somewhere. I mean, he's got room. That yellow rock, that shot rock, is all the way in the 12 foot in the back. So if he can get around the guard and get it buried top 8, that will give him an opportunity to get 2. So that will be a skip's deuce, as we call it, where the 2 points scored are the 2 shots that the skip made.
Yeah, because this is his first rock.
I think I've done that once in 26 years. I just made Britt spit his beer. It was almost a spit take.
When I'm drinking.
It was almost a spit take.
That was pretty good.
Yes, this is my 20-something year of curling, 27, 28, I don't know.
And that is why I love having you on the stream. I've been curling for 10 years, and I still don't have a quarter of your experience. Oh, here goes Bertonica's shot, and it is hot.
No, I don't think the weight's bad.
No, all right, it's slowing down. I could be wrong.
They passed the guard nicely. Got to get it. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Got to get it to the 8 foot. Got to get it to the 8 foot. Come on, Julie. Not going to get there.
It is biting the front 12.
So, again, that could have been heavy. You don't want to. Your margin of error, something I talk about when I talk to new curlers a lot that are trying to get into skipping, is your margin of error there is to be heavy. Because if you go all the way to the back yellow one, that's fine. But you can't be short.
And it's funny, while you were just explaining that, Matt just offered Julie a hug because it was almost an admission. I did not give that enough weight.
That is pretty obvious.
Let's cut to sheet B really quick. Just so you guys see, you're not missing much right now. They're about halfway through the end, and this is the situation. 2 yellow in the house.
Red has the hammer.
Right. So right now, Colgate is trying to come to the outside on the
And
top
another
side
good
of your
draw.
screen.
This is going to be really good.
He's gonna tuck in.
Sweep it all the way. Sweep it all the way. Right to the button. Right to the button, boys and girls. Great shot. Broadcast team is doing the wave again. Really nice shot. Right to the top of the button.
I had to applaud that shot. That was just gorgeous.
We're watching all the chase over here.
So Matt Bertonica in a world of trouble here. With the hammer, looking at 2 yellow.
Already trailing 4-1.
And he's already trailing 4-1, and he can't outdraw the yellow that's at the top of the button.
No.
So I think he's going to try to tap his red one.
That looks to be the call. It's a tight squeeze because of the yellow guard.
Yes. I think the angle's okay. The key here is to not overthrow it, because if you hit it wrong and you hit it too hard, you have no chance. So if you're just tapping like backline weight,
look at this.
You might get second shot out of it at least.
He might be
it's very close. Very close. Very close.
Sweep that.
Not quite enough.
Ooh.
But again, that was really good weight, because he didn't lose the red. The red stayed there for second shot, so he only gives up 1.
So that's going to make the score on sheet C 5-1 yellow. Matt Bertonica and red will retain the hammer.
Rattles.
And that
I'm
gives
getting an update from the ice that one of my handles might be loose, so I'm going to go out there and manage that.
Let's I'm going to turn Jeff's headset off until he's able to return. Why? Because it cuts back on background noise. Excuse me. Meanwhile, on sheet B, pardon me, folks. Hiccups are the worst, and I get them frequently. And nobody wants to hear that as we're broadcasting. So, sheet B, cutting over here, we have a score of 4-1 in favor of yellow. Red has the hammer, and Robert Kwan and red are shooting at some yellow rocks. Here we go. And he's got the back one just barely, but he is not going to stick around. So he hits and he rolls out, and yellow is still sitting 2 in a weird kind of formation. This by no means is done. So he is going to try and promote a little bit. He wants to hit the yellow, into the yellow, promote, and I think in the end result, he's going to split the house. The fifth end is just beginning over on C. We'll come back to them in a little bit. But that score is 5-1 in favor of Colgate over Bertonica. So we're watching sheet B right now. And this is an interesting shot because this sets up, oh, he does not hit the way he wanted to, but he still has the 3 points counting right now because I think the shot rock, I'm sorry, not the shot rock, but the shot that was just delivered is biting. Let's go to the far houses so you can see both matches simultaneously. You can see over on sheet C, we have Redstone already in the 4-foot. As Bertonica is trying to mount a comeback.
Yeah, we're actually running. You guys got some balls put in shots. I'd like to say we're on our way back, but
I see Jeff walking down the ice as he heads to the ice shed to try and find out what's going on, if there's a stone rattling. In the meantime, sheet C, their draw comes up a little short. Far C, one, maybe two red. I can't tell from this angle which one is second shot. Cutting to far B, we have one yellow with a red out there in the 8-foot. So we'll give you the wide view again because both sheets are in the same point in the same end. Although sheet B is already up to skip rock, so we may go there just for interest.
I wouldn't be mad at anybody for that. I agree with this. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at anybody.
So over here on sheet B, I just brought it in because I believe their skip Matt is throwing his first rock, and he is throwing a pretty fair amount of weight, so I'm guessing it's a takeout. And he hits and he rolls towards the 12-foot, and right now that is 3 yellow, maybe 4. So now you're Robert Kwan, you have 2 rocks left. How do you make this work? You're already trailing. You're trying to pull yourself back into this match. How do you make this work? See what he wants to do. I think he's setting a broom with an idea of curling back behind that yellow. Let's see what Robert wants to do here. We'll stay with the sheet B stream for a moment. He's in the hack now and he's lining something up. That 4-foot, the shot rock is just it's pretty covered. It's difficult to get to. But here he comes. He just released the rock. Looks like draw weight from my perspective, but who knows? Sweepers are going on it. Should be coming to your view. Here it comes. Oh, he's on the yellow, and he bumps the yellow up, and now it is clearly 4 yellow. It was probably 3, maybe 4 before, and now it is clearly 4. So, again, Robert, I believe, I'm looking at the scoreboard, Robert has hammer, so this is yellow's last shot, but yellow's sitting 3 right now. I'm sorry, sitting 4, gives them an opportunity to try and draw to the button or draw behind their existing guards into the 4-foot and force a draw to the button for Robert Kwan. Very difficult. Meanwhile, over on far C, the setup is all reds.
Oh, I'm off.
And it looks like they're trying to maybe double here. Jeff has rejoined the broadcast.
A little rock maintenance out there. I had to tighten the handle on sheet C.
Okay.
It's narrow.
So
That's going to overcurl.
It's narrow. Except the red one anymore.
It does. It impacts the guard. Ooh, I don't like that at all.
So on sheet B, last rock, let's swap over there real quick. Robert Kwan has the hammer, and he's looking at 5 yellows in the house. So he needs to draw the 4-foot.
Solid 4 will get it. A touch of 4 will cut him to 1. But right now, Robert trails 4-1. He really can't afford to give up more than 1 here, and really needs to take 1.
Yeah, to try to stay in the game. So I mean, full 8, he gives up 2.
Get it over the line, guys. Get it over.
And you said these are relatively new curlers playing with Robert?
Yes, Robert's playing with guys who have less than 1 full year.
Oh, spring greenhorns.
So it's tough on the sweepers in this case because, you know, Robert's going to throw what is considered the perfect draw, which would be if nobody swept it, it would stop somewhere top 12, maybe top 8.
Right.
So it's up to the sweepers to get it there. It's really hard to throw the exact distance you want.
Particularly this early in the season. This is probably Robert's only second or third game on his size. Looks heavy.
Yeah, sweepers are on it now. I'm trying to come off the outside yellow.
Ooh, look at this. Get in there.
That's one.
We call that a really good miss. That's the technical term.
That is 1 red.
That is 1 red on a really good miss.
We're gonna shuttle over to C. Again, score here is 5-1 in favor of yellow, which is Colby. But Matt Bertonica has put 3 points on the board in play.
Again, I think it's fairly close for who is third shot. I'm looking at the monitor here in the warm room, which is a bigger screen than the computer screen, and I believe it could be yellow. It's very close. Again, one of those very close ones.
At least 2. Pam Moan's shot.
Going to be a guard.
Which is kind of what he called.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It still leaves that red rock at the top of the 12-foot accessible for a tap. Again, you only have to move it 2-3 inches to be third shot for sure.
Yep, 8:30, you got it. Tomorrow night, you got it.
I've been here since 8:30 a.m. today, so I get a little bit I don't know how that's the same, but I'll be here at 6.
I think I would hit that one, which I think they're looking at. Get rid of that red rock.
Right. This is a situation that the Colgate team has not seen tonight, where Bertonica has had multiple rocks in play, and then trying to decide how to cut him down. So I kind of feel like if I were calling this shot, I would be coming in to the 4-foot on the bottom side of the screen, which is the left side of the ice, to get in behind them. But they're going to the right side, which is the top side of the screen. Jeff, what would you do here?
No, he's throwing a takeout here. You're doing damage control at this point, which is fine. Get rid of that red rock at the top 12. Make Matt make a shot. You know, you're up 4. You're playing defense right now. You get really lucky, you might make a double. Or if you get really unlucky, you just push them in for 3.
So now it's a clear 3 inside the 8-foot.
I think it's pitching game 4.
And the problem here is that the red one on the 4-foot, both red ones that are touching the 4-foot are open for a takeout. So now you have to decide which one you want to guard. And again, in my case, you're down 4. So the best guard is something full 12 biting the 8-foot.
Totally changed the way
On the top side of the screen, probably.
you know.
And that looks like what Bertonica is calling as he gets ready to deliver the first skip zone.
Now here, I was talking about margin of error before. That margin of error on this one is you can be a little light. If it's truly a guard, that's fine. You don't want back to the tee line.
Right, because you need this as far up as possible just to stop them.
Yes.
So let's see where this ends up.
You want to take your points with the hammer and stop it here.
Well, Matt's setting up. This is what you're missing on B. It's still early. So let's go back to far C. Bertonica shot underway.
First skip rock for Matt here. Sweeping it pretty hard. It's going to over curl. It's actually going to hit the guard on the center line.
Ooh.
And that is not a good result.
It offers a touch more protection, but not really, because the stone you're really worried about, I can see 100%.
So now the choice becomes, which of the red rocks in the 4-foot do you try to hit? Or do you try to draw to the red rock that's touching the 4-foot on the top of your screen, which is a really good shot if you make it. But if you don't make it, now you're leaving Matt a draw for 4.
Right.
So again, I'm playing defense at this point. I'm up 4 points. I'm hitting a red rock.
Absolutely.
And it looks like we're going for the draw freeze down to the red rock. That's touching the 4-foot on the top side of your screen. Needs the curl. And I think it's on the guard. It is, but it actually rolls in for third shot. And since it throws up right to that red rock that's in the 4-foot on the bottom of your screen, not removable. So Matt's got a draw for 3. And needs to touch the 4-foot to get his 3, sitting 2 right now. Quick update over on sheet B. We have 1 yellow, top 12. Wait a minute, I can figure this out without glasses. Let's try Cube Zoom. Oh, I like that one. So, yellow sitting 1, top of the 12-foot, behind a guard. That's Matt Schneider, and it is buried. And he does have the hammer. Matt Bertonica's final rock on the way here on sheet C. Looks a little warm. Sweeper's not really paying attention to it. Going to be in the 4-foot, but knocks himself out of the 4-foot, so 2 red. So yellow is ahead on sheet C, 5-3 at this point. Yellow will have hammer in the 6th end.
So good for you.
Cube Zoom feature used here to switch sheets. You can see over here on sheet B, yellow with the hammer, sitting 1 at the top of the house. Take out on that red rock, which is not successful. Ends up jamming on his own. So red is now sitting 1 for sure, possibly 2. Robert's going for the draw, either just short or around those 2 yellow guards that are by the center line. So I did do a score update on sheet C, so we're good there.
Okay.
Sheet B is on their 6th end. Sheet C just started the 6th. And we're on sheet B. It looks like the rock is over curling, so we're not going to get a guard or a draw. But we're going to get around the other side of the guards.
Yeah.
And come in for a second shot.
So looking at sheet B, Robert takes 1, and the score now is 4-2. What does Red have to do here to get back in this match in the 6th end?
Well, they don't have the hammer here, so minimum they have to hold Nat China Yellow Rocks to 1. You could go hard to steal to win the game. Steal the 6th end, 1 point. Steal the 7th end, 1 point. Steal the 8th end, 1 point, and you win 5-4.
Tricky.
That's very tough.
Wow. All right, so we have that. None of our games are out of hand right now. We've got 4-2 and 5-3. So let's cut to near C really quick.
Nice little tap there on the red rock. Moved it into the house a little further and guarded it. Yellow does not, yes, yellow does have the hammer on sheet C, I'm sorry. So they're going to draw to the outside, keep the middle open. Always a good process when you have the hammer.
Ooh, it's curling a lot.
Rupert on it hard. The weight looks decent. Going outside, inside out. You don't get a lot of rocks out there on the very far outside, so there's pretty fresh pebble out there. So the rock slows down faster. Matt, without the hammer here on sheet C, is going to try to go around those 2 red rocks or tap them up again, something.
Oh, really?
Checking in on B. Bertonica looks like he's trying to draw in. I'm sorry, that's Kwan.
I mean, you know, there could be there's a chance.
It's a little deep.
Might get to Alaska.
That was Robert's first skip stone.
It depends on a few things in life and all, but it would be for curling.
So yellow here on sheet B has a chance to sit 2 and make a takeout. Roll is the bonus.
Oh yeah.
Nose hit is not. Nose hit doesn't get your second shot, so you need a little bit of roll.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you know what?
Hey, do you want just a little bit of roll to take away red shot
Oh my gosh.
in kind of a retaliation? If you hit and stick here, not only you're not second shot, but you've left them a hit and roll.
Well, and you would also leave the yellow shot rock, which is at the top of the screen, open. So possibly sit 2 or 3, 2 anyway. And I don't think it's going to roll inside. It looks like it's going to be a nose or outside.
It's going to nose and roll out.
Well,
So they just took like 2.5 or 3 weeks off, and it was just like, yeah, we're not doing plays.
Meanwhile, over here on sheet C, they kiss off of a red and roll right over into the 4-foot, but fully exposed.
That's good. I have to say, Michael B. Jordan.
So Matt Bertonica is not going to waste any time, and he's going to go right after that stone.
he's going to
Looks
not get
wide.
past the guard.
I wouldn't really play. It's only going to be like 10 teams. So I'm hoping.
There's
no way you're going to have 7 teams.
Ooh,
Oh, just like you said, you want
not a terrible result, but not what he wanted.
We like cube zoom, by the way.
Cues him.
Hey, whatever happened to your best friend?
That's my favorite.
Because you like the rotating screen? That's cool. I'm fine with that. So we're back here on sheet B as Robert is throwing his final stone. And what's he trying to do here, Jeff? Hit and roll in?
You just want to hit it. If you nose it, that's fine. You're going to force Matt Schneider to make a draw for 1. You don't want to roll out.
Right.
Yeah, so I think now is probably their place.
Stone is on its way.
Roll in is the bonus.
Change your strategy.
So here it comes, coming to view. He needs to hit that yellow. Need to get it out. Sweep, sweep, sweep. And all he did was move it over.
So Matt's looking at, can he get to the back red one for 3, which would essentially put this game almost out of reach.
Very much so. If he took 3 here, he'd be up 7-2 after 6. Oh, an interesting draw over here on C. Let's go there really quick.
Everybody's late.
I'm confused.
That was the fly rotate option, by the way, which
Yeah,
is
that was
also
a different-
which I also like.
That was a different transition right there.
I try to mix them up.
Oh, so you're drunk.
Nice.
Drunk food. He says drunk food.
Who is shot? C? Yellow?
Yellow is shot. We're looking up at the monitor, and yellow is shot on seat C.
I mean, I know other people in the roster. Oh, you know what they're
We'll
go-to.
flop back over to B for the final skip rock here.
Late night Shawarma.
So Matt has decided on a draw for his 2, which is still fine. Now he's going to be up. If he makes the draw, he'll be up 4.
Oh, he
Sweepers
gets
are
light.
working on it hard. The vice is running out. He needs to
Gotta get to the
touch
8.
the 8 foot. He's got to touch the 8 foot, and I don't think it's going to get there.
Oh no.
No, just a
Missed
little light.
opportunity.
Alright, so easy to get around.
So 1 yellow will make that score 5-2. Meanwhile, over here on C,
I was like, we stayed actually. We found a really cool theory.
Decided on a takeout on that red rock. A little dangerous. The line is not great here. This is on the yellow right now, the yellow shot rock.
it's got a call.
And not going to get there. Pretty light, though. It actually stays in the back 4 foot for shot.
Right now, I know. I don't know if I can really get 3 days off.
So now Pam will take, I think it's her 2nd shot. And Matt Bertonica is evaluating a double here.
Yeah, this is Pam's 2nd rock.
If she can double this and stick, that would leave 4 red at the moment. I mean, Matt Bertonica is definitely looking at it. It's not easy, but it's potential.
I think he's going to just tap the red one a little bit. I don't mind this call. Oh,
we got man down on B.
little wipeout over there on sheet B. The delivery guy kind of foot slipped out.
He's okay.
He looks good.
She'd
Nobody's
see the
concerned.
draw comes up short. Ends up being a center line guard.
Maybe like 4 days or so.
Yeah.
Like one day, I think we went basically.
Left a little bit of a mark on the ice over there on sheet B. We'll break out the broom later and beat that guy. I am the Ice Tech Emeritus. I'm into year 8 of my 5-year retirement program. So that hasn't worked out real well. I did not do much this year.
No, you basically oversaw the process, but your oversight was crucial.
I did have to show up on white paint day to man the paint barrel, but I didn't do much out there.
Shot coming in over here on C. It's gonna chip the red, but not enough to get it out. Still looks like one red to me.
It is one red.
And that red is not easy to reach.
Yeah, that's behind about 4 guards.
So Matt is going to try and draw in through the port between the yellow and the red. The yellow that's in the 8th foot and the red that's just north of the center line. Although now he's pointing at the red. Is he talking about a hit?
No, Matt is red, so he's thinking about tapping the red one.
Okay.
I think I would hit the yellow one. That's right where the broom is. I would hit that.
I mean, if you get a roll in
if you
sit that yellow, you'd be sitting 2.
Yeah, it might be a double if you just hit it a little bit on the top side of the screen. If you nose it, that's fine too. It leaves it in a pretty good spot. If you ever get inside just a little bit, make a little roll.
Right.
And you'd have that yellow one behind it for backing that it'd be hard to remove that red one.
So Matt Bertonica is lining up his shot really quickly. This is what's going on B. A lot of yellow rocks. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Meanwhile, Matt's releasing his stone. Let's see what goes on with this.
Weight looks good. Line looks good. He's trying that tap. I don't know if he has enough weight. It's pretty close. It's going to get on the yellow one. Oh! Clicks off the yellow guard. Rolls to a pretty good spot, though.
Right, it's usable. I mean, from my perspective, if you nose that stone, you could clear out the yellow and still roll towards the button.
That is correct. The angle's really nice there.
So Colgate is apparently looking at trying to hit and roll on what is the south side of your screen, left to right for us. They might be able to try and hit that red and roll in.
It's a possible double there too if he hits it on the outside, but not easy.
No.
Because it could drive that red rock that's in the 4 foot back onto the yellow if he hits it wrong.
Right. If the doubles what they're going for here, the angle is absolutely crucial. It looks like takeout weight.
I think it's inside. I think it's on the guard.
Is it by that front red?
No.
And now we get to Bertonica's last shot. He does not have hammer. All right, Jeff, what do you do?
Well, you don't have the hammer here. You're sitting 1. Well guarded. It looks like he's going to throw another guard up on the red rock that the Colgate just tried to hit, which is fine. I always go with the theory of don't leave the other team the same shot twice.
Right.
So make them do something different.
I kind of like the draw in on that side all the way to the button.
Draw would be great. Again, the margin of error on that shot is short's okay.
Right. You can't be long here. You can be short.
So your margin of error is about 21 feet. It's 15 feet from the hog line to the top of the house, and then 6 feet, obviously, from the top of the 12-foot to the tee line. So anywhere in that 21-foot section of ice, and I think that's inside on the yellow rock.
Is it by the guard?
No, it's not. And that opens up shot rock.
Yes.
That
sure
was not
does.
good.
Really quick. Here's what's going on sheet B. There's a whole lot of yellow.
And again, yellow is leading over there, what, 5-2?
5-2.
And red has the hammer. And that is not a successful shot.
I have unlimited vetoes in the bride.
It's fifth rock, but that's not what you're going for there. All right, back to sheet C.
Oh, wait, right now.
Final rock on its way for Colgate.
Ask Eric how many vetoes he has.
Shot rock is open now when Matt moved that guard. But I think this one's not going to get past the guards either.
I think he's too far narrow.
Steal one for red.
As unmovable as possible.
And that's going to cut the lead to 5-4 for yellow. So here we are going into the seventh with a 1-point game on C.
Oh, here we go.
Back here to sheet B. Yet another yellow stone into that conglomeration. They're sitting 5.
Yeah, that's you got the lead. You don't have the hammer. You're sitting for. You might as well sit 5.
Yeah.
The guard's not a good thing at this point. Just pile them in there and make them do something.
Right.
But you just gotta be careful. You got synergy at the right times. You know, maybe streamers wouldn't have been that. Well worth it.
Get some nice, like, glittering, you know?
Robert's trying to do a little damage control and move some granite, so he possibly could have a shot. Right now he has 0 shot.
Right. Oh, and this comes heavy because, in my opinion, you can't throw this heavy enough.
And I don't think he got onto the broom. He might catch a yellow. No, that's not good.
Moves it to the button, but that's it.
So, throw another one into the pile. Sitting 5, sit 6. They need to make 2 triples.
Wow. You don't hear that very often in curling. You can get back in this match, but you just got to make 2 triples.
2 triples with your last 2 shots.
Right. Right, we just skip rocks.
You're number 1 and mine is like.
We'll stick here for a minute just because sheet C is still evolving. No, that's near C. Sorry. Far C. There we go. So far, just the one red stone in Bertonica is trying to split the house right now. So, well, this one's going to be a little short, it looks like, but it's going to be a guard. Doesn't really help, but doesn't hurt you either.
Nah, it doesn't hurt. Robert Kwan now up with his skip rocks. He's got to.
I feel like he's going to.
I think you got to make the double here because I don't know if there's a triple. I don't think you can get to any rock well enough to make a triple.
Not during the ceremony.
I agree. You need the double just to open it up.
You can make a run back yellow triple possibly. This is one of those times when you just kind of like close your eyes and throw it really hard.
Yeah.
We have those cards, so they can be easier and warm. I just wanted to about
I think he's actually looking at some kind of run back. I mean, right now you got 2 yellow rocks touching the button. You have to move those to have any hope to score.
We're going to cut back to sheet C real quick.
While they're still discussing over there on sheet B.
Yep. Because Julie's throwing for red and Team Bertonica. That's coming to view. Here it comes.
A little tap. Not enough weight. That worked out.
Yeah, accidental guard for the shot rock.
Again, red does not have the hammer here, so they need to steal.
The wedding was done in like 7 minutes, as it turned out.
Or at minimum, hold yellow to 1 and hope to score 2 in the 8th with the hammer. I think with the hit was called on the top 12-foot rock, possible double. Not too hard a double at this point.
And they are still talking on B.
4:30. And then we were like, all right, well, what do we do? And then
No, we didn't make the double, but we got rid of 1.
And opened the shot rock wide up.
So over on sheet B, just swap over there real quick. You can see that the broom is being held in front of a guard right there, so he is going to try some kind of run back. And based on where the broom is, it's going to be pretty good weight. Put the broom where you want to hit the rock, and just throw it. And try to get some granite moving in the house.
Yep.
And he's going back down the ice, so we're going to go back to sheet C here for a second. I'm not sure if that was a guard or a draw on sheet C, but neither one worked.
It definitely ended up being a guard. I think guard was the call, but I could be wrong.
The takeout on shot rock is called here. Line looks good. Weight looks good. And we have a successful takeout as the rock comes into view.
Click. Well done.
And losing the shooter there is not a problem because he knows that there he could leave Matt Bertonica on sheet C a hit and roll. So Robert's back in the hack. They've moved the broom. So I'm not sure if he thinks there's a hole. I'm going to take a little walk over here behind sheet B and see if there's a hole between those 2 rocks. Eric, Sebastian, is there a hole between those 2 rocks?
there is.
That is the hope.
But that line floats up like crazy. No, up.
It's on the guard. Nope.
Oh, there though.
So he's taking out a guard.
I think he was trying to go through that hole that possibly was not there. It was really tight.
Meanwhile, over on sheet C, we have a hog shot. So this is what we're still looking at.
Pam says she needs a cheeseburger. She needs energy. She's hungry. She needs a cheeseburger.
Oh, it was on a Sunday we couldn't make it work, and it's like, well, when we first
So Colgate appears to be just trying to draw in. There's guards there and a lot of space to work with.
Let's swap back to sheet B here for a second. And final rock on its way for yellow. I would think this is drawing to the pile again. although it looks light, and it's over curling.
So he needs 3. He only has 1 rock.
But
If your teacher is like, well,
No harm, no foul.
yeah, and I don't have a clue how you score here.
as opposed to like a kid where you're like,
I almost feel like you're giving up a ton of points regardless. So you might as well drill right up the center line and try to cut it to 3. You know, I mean, you're not going to get in there and cut them down. So you just want to eliminate rocks and try to cut them down that way.
Well, I think Robert's throwing the draw based on where the broom is placed. If he gets a full 4 foot, he gives up 2. And now you're down 7-2 with the hammer.
Yeah. But can you get there?
So, and this is basically games to not hear Velcro.
Right.
Like pretty much anything.
Oh, come on, don't pull him. Oh, that's right.
Look, hashtag.
Yeah, leave him in, leave him in.
Hashtag doing great.
Hashtag leave him in.
All right, so Robert slides out and delivers a stone.
Don't argue with Bobby. Some of the hacks.
And it is draw weight.
Looks pretty good.
I think it's over curling.
Uh-oh.
I think it's on a yellow, and I think it's light.
Dig hard, dig hard.
he has a friend.
And I believe I hear the sound of Velcro coming and the gloves coming off.
5 yellow. And handshakes on B.
So back to sheet C.
So on sheet B, Schneider will defeat Kwan. And we will cut back to C as we see the Vice Rocks coming towards us.
Final Vice Rock.
His coworker Rob.
Yellow sitting 2.
Ooh, nice.
Telling him about the
Danielle, your mother's cookies are delicious.
Not perfect, but good enough.
Everyone's gonna get all the junior
So shot rock on sheet C, the touching the 4 foot is buried behind some guards, not accessible. Second shot rock there on top of your screen, right on the T line in a full 8 is open. Yellow has the hammer, and they are up 5-4.
You were a little later than you thought.
So red, Matt Bertonica, needs to find a way to score or hold yellow to 1 and hope to score 2 or 3 in the 8th end to tie it up or win the game.
Alright, she's coming up. What's that Mike's page with seltzer? It's from them, the Cody? Okay. Folks, we'll move into A.
Yeah, sorry, I can take that.
So final score on sheet B was bunch to not very many.
He's been wanting to.
She's like, no, there is.
But they played and they had fun, and that's what the game is about.
Who's setting that traffic? So, like my boss goes.
So let's see if I do this right.
I'm just gonna go. I'm taking your.
Matt shot his first skip rock on the way. Here on sheet B is playing the takeout on yellow. Trying to make a hit and roll. It's going to over curl and roll too far.
This was my
And actually not take yellow out of the house. These people need to be more precise with where they roll to. There's so many rocks that are so close in this game. I believe yellow is sitting 2 based on the monitor. Third shot is very close.
And then the next week I was like, oh, right.
And Britt is back. And he's going to look to see if we're actually talking to ourselves, or are there still people watching?
5.
We have 5 whole people out there. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Yes.
My name is Jeff Hannon. This is Britt Bissett next to me, and this is great. This I did audio broadcasting at the Lowell Men's Worlds back in 2006. It was not streaming. There was no video, so it was basically a radio broadcast.
Excuse me there. That must be really challenging because curling is such a visual sport.
It took us about 3 games to figure out how to describe, based with a clock, an analog clock, where the rocks were. We finally decided that the top of the house was always 12.
Right. Wow.
Then we had to draw it on a piece of paper and keep turning it around in front of us so that we could figure it out.
So meanwhile, we're watching C, where the count is at least 1 yellow. I know Jeff was checking it out. Is that 2 yellow?
It's 2 at this, so I believe it's 2 yellow.
Oh no! Oh, that yellow almost made it 1 yellow by bumping the red into definitive 2 position. It didn't happen, but it almost happened. So just a preview for tomorrow. We've got games starting at 8 a.m. We have draws all day long. 8, 10, 12:30, 4, 6:15, 8:30. So join us all day on the stream for curling. The 8 o'clock matches are Libby Brundage versus Jack Miller and John Corelli versus Robert Kwan. I will be here tomorrow morning to help bring those matches to life. But definitely join us. It's going to be great curling all weekend.
My family who showed up was
like it made
my
sense.
mother and stepfather.
Your family, and then your 30 people who have no idea who you're.
Yeah.
So Matt Bertonica's final shot here on sheet C.
This is the hammer, right?
Yeah, I know.
No.
Yellow has the
has
hammer.
the hammer. You're right.
So he's doing a yellow-red bump to try to score 1.
Right. It's on a broom and a half promote. It's not easy, but it's lined up really well.
That's a lot of weight. Is he trying to make the yellow-red run back?
That's what I think he's doing. He missed it.
Yes, he did.
Ah, goodness. So, but he nudges his red enough that I think he makes it clearly 1 yellow. And if that's the case, then he's still got a shot.
Yeah, really. It was like that's. Matt Schneider is
Yeah, red is definitely second shot. 1.
Yeah. The Colgate folks are looking into the war room going, is it 1 or is it 2? Help us out here.
But now we have the yellow-red run back to remove that red rock and get 2. Or draw. You don't need full 12 to get second point.
Yeah, I mean, I like the draw better because if you don't hit this the right way or with the right weight, you risk making it 1 red. So I'd rather leave things the way they are and get 1 point. Meanwhile, in the spirit of curling, Sheet B, now done, has turned into a clinic. Some of the more experienced curlers are out there talking to some of the younger curlers playing this tournament and giving them some tips, and I think that's really fantastic. Here comes the yellow stone.
Weight looks a little warm.
With how it's been slowing down late, though, I like this. It's gonna curl.
No, it could come off the yellow or tap the yellow.
Here it comes. Yes.
And that could be 3. That is 3.
Yellow.
You gotta have him take
Well,
it.
we'll see what works out.
And if that's 3 yellow, that makes it 8-4. And that's a nice shot.
I'm not sure if that was the call, but it was a really good result.
They'll say it was the call, but they might be liars. Let's be honest. So some discussion going on down at the end of sheet C.
I would say that's
Wherever you go, you feel very welcome.
It is 4, and the score is 8-4. Or sorry, it is 3, and the score is 8-4. And we are coming home. Red is down 4.
Oh! Kidding me?
You wanted the other one.
That was pretty nasty. That was pretty nasty.
Oh yeah, Matt just did his.
That groan from the warm room that you might have heard
Yeah.
was the Yankees versus the Red Sox.
What happened?
Yankees had the bases loaded with 2 outs and strikeout, and Boston is up 5-2.
It's 5-2, huh? Well, speaking of trying to come back from the deficit,
I don't want to get anyone sick either.
try and find a way to come back.
You know, maybe a
The
little
trail's 8-4 here.
This is tough.
It is.
You need misses at this point.
Is there anything you could do to set this up, or do you really just need to do what you need to do and hope for some misses?
Yeah, you gotta get rocks way outside.
I remember we went to play out.
That's not bad.
Over next to you and Larry. We were like, brand new, you'd never seen. No, I remember.
I don't like this call.
You don't like the draw behind.
No, you don't want to go behind their guard.
So where would you go right here?
You go open side, so top of your screen, somewhere in the house.
Okay.
Because if this is behind the tee line, you're just giving them a rock to draw to.
I think without a question, it's behind the tee line. I think it's through.
That's fine.
Yeah. I'll live with that.
My rule when I'm been skipping for all these years, up 3 or more, you throw the first 2 through. Because if you put your rocks in play, it just gives the other team things to work with.
Right.
Even if it's in front of the tee line, they can tap it back, they can freeze to it. So you don't want any extra shrapnel in there.
And I can remember as a young curler playing in one of my first sponge fields with an experienced skip. We were up in a situation like this, and he said to me, "Throw it through." And my first thought was, what the hell is he talking about? I must be mishearing him. Because why would you not want stones in play? But there are times where you're better served by having your stones go through the house.
Yeah, now this is the situation too with the 5 rock rule, where they thought about hitting that red rock that's on the center line, but they can't.
Right.
So he called for the draw, but it went through the house, which again, you're playing defense at this point. You're up 4 points.
Right.
So nothing in play with yellow is fine. Now Matt has to go to work, and he has to make a draw. He's got to get rocks in the house. He's got 6 rocks left. He needs 4 of them to count.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'm looking over at sheet B, and we have visiting curlers that are basically running a clinic out there for some of our younger players, and that's just so nice to see. These guys are guests in our club. They've traveled here just to play, and they're spending their extra time to kind of teach the new curlers. That's just fantastic. That's the spirit of curling right there.
Yeah, it's Matt Schneider and Robert Kwan, the 2 skips that played against each other. Matt Schneider actually went to Moncton, New Brunswick this year for the Glenn Howard or Russ Howard clinic,
Okay.
which I would highly recommend over Hot Shots any day of the week. It's a fabulous clinic. It's very intense, and Matt said he came back and it made a world of difference to him. So, and obviously, I mean, he won that game handily.
And now here he is taking that information he learned and passing it on to younger curlers who may not have even heard of that clinic. That's just fantastic.
That is the spirit of curling.
Absolutely, it makes me so happy. Meanwhile, over here on C, there is still a match. We're talking about the practice on B. You know, Bertonica is still trying to get back into this, and they have entered the stone elimination portion of the game. Yellow is trying to eliminate red stones. You won't know it in the red room because most of them are watching the Yankee game.
What did y'all guess?
And I like this call. Get rid of a red rock. Right now, there's a red rock back here in the bucket, and there's 3 red rocks in front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt needs his 4 remaining rocks to score.
So every rock you take out of play brings you one step closer to locking this up.
At this time of night, yeah.
At this time of night, I can do it in 5 minutes.
And it doesn't matter in this case where the yellow rock goes. It could have rolled out. That's fine. You just need to remove red rocks.
The further from the center it goes, the easier it is to dismiss it. But yeah, essentially, if it rolls all the way out, you don't care. If it hits and sticks, you're not really upset because you're just trying to eliminate rocks.
Yes. And this one looks like it's going to overcurl. It was a call for a draw, but it looks like it's either going to be light or overcurl in both. So now the dilemma occurs. All right, Matt is the bigger man because I've been in Bonspiels before in this situation. There's 3 rocks in front of the house, 2 rocks out of play for red. They need 4.
So statistically, it's possible, but in a matter of physics, it's near impossible.
Yeah, and for yellow at that point, if they decided to throw a rock, you know, and you push one of the red ones in, that could be bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't want to do it, but if I was yellow at that point, I'd just be throwing everything away.
Mm-hmm. Before I cut the stream, I'm just going to cut over to the near house view. What you see in the center of your screen is that impromptu clinic that we talked about is happening. Experienced curlers like Robert and Matt Schneider just sharing the knowledge they have with newer curlers, and that's just so nice to see again. You know, talking about ways you can deliver the stone, how to improve your slide. It's just really great. So, just wanted to end on that note because I just think that's really special, and it really talks so much about how great the curling community is. So, all right, so on that note, I'm going to thank Jeff Hannon for joining us tonight.
And I'm going to thank Britt for having me.
Always a pleasure to broadcast with you. We will be back tomorrow morning starting at 8 a.m. We will be here for a total of 6 draws. From 8 until 10 p.m., there will be curling streaming live, virtually nonstop. We'll take a break for dinner. But other than that, we're going to be here. So please join us tomorrow for the second day of the Blazing Leaves. Until then, I am Britt.
And I'm Jeff.
And we thank you for joining us from Nutmeg Curling. Have a great night, everybody.